Good morning, folks. It's Wednesday morning. I'm a little late getting this posted. Um, Probably noticed I got a haircut with all the barbershops being closed. I cut my own hair this morning, and as you can tell, I cut it extremely short. So, but anyway, number 6. Ordered a swimming pool made out of check. Check, as you'll recall, is a negotiable instrument. And because it is a negotiable instrument, um, the question becomes, does this, for pool kit to be delivered, does that make it a non-negotiable instrument if we put that on the memo line? And the answer is no, it doesn't. Any notes I make on the memo line are just for information purposes. They don't rise to the level of being contingent on some other undertaking. Okay, case 7. Made a promissory note to Anderson, leaving the date of payment blank. The payee then went and put on demand on it and asked if that creates a problem. No, it doesn't. If, in fact, the due date on any instrument is left blank, then the due date is on demand. It's a demand instrument. So that's the answer in number 7. Daryl Young presented 5 photocopied checks to 5 different days. Cashed the first 4 checks presented. The 5th check, which was presented on a Saturday, was drawn on a different account from the first 4 and was payable on the following Monday. Linwood's practice was to cash checks on Saturday that were dated the following Monday. Young was convicted of 5 counts of forgery. On appeal, Young argued that the post-dated check was not a legal instrument for purposes of the forgery statute. The crime of forgery requires an instrument that, if genuine, may have the legal effect to be a foundation of legal liability. Young argued that the post-dated check did not meet this requirement because the time for payment had not yet arrived. Well, this is actually a fairly simple case. And so let me go over the rules with you that apply here to a post-dated check. When you write a post-dated check, there is no obligation on the part of the bank to wait to cash that check until the date on the check. The only way that you can make a post-dated check and not have it be payable on demand is if you notify the bank that they're going to be receiving a post-dated check, and then they cannot pay it. But if you fail to provide notice, it doesn't really matter what date is on the check unless it's 6 months past the date that you're trying to cash it is 6 months past the date on the check, at which point it's a stale check, and the bank has the option to either cash it or not cash it. So here the post dating does not change the legal effect. It's still payable on demand, payable instantly. Okay, number 9. Emma McDonald, acting as a personal representative of the state of Marion Cahill, wrote a check payable to himself individually on the estate checking account. The instrument contained an obvious variance between the numbers and the written words that indicated the amount of the check. It said, paid to the order of Emma McDonald, $10,075, and then had written $1,075. Well, $1,075 would be $1,075. So there's an obvious discrepancy between the two. Yates' successor representing sued the bank on behalf of the estate to recover the $9,000 difference between that amount and the $1,075 that was written out. Okay, so when we have a discrepancy between the numeric words, the numeric amount on a check, and the written out amount on the check. So here there was a discrepancy between the numerals 1075. I'm sorry. Yeah, the numerals 10,075 and the written out 1,075. The words control. So when there's a discrepancy, the words control. So here, the words 1,075 would control over the 10,075, and therefore they're entitled to a refund then of the $9,000. The bank just screwed up. They got careless. The tellers need to read both the numerics and the written out words whenever they cash a check, and when they fail to do so, they have the risk of this happening. All right, we're going to go ahead. We have time, so we're going to go ahead and do 32. So do the first 5 cases in 32. Again, the guts of Chapter 32 is on page 829. The general requirements to be a holder in due course. And this concept of being a holder in due course is really important, and so I want to spend some time with that. So for Friday, read Chapter 32, pay particular attention to the requirements on page 829, and do the first 5 cases in Chapter 32. Have a good day. Be safe.